Hello, and welcome to another episode of Glitter and Robes, the only podcast that meets at the intersection of drag and wrestling. I am your host, Chanel.
And I'm Roy, and we are here to talk about all things glitter and robe, all things Eyelicious. This episode is brought to you by Eyelicious.
Our first segment today is What's Eyelicious in Our World?
There are so many things Eyelicious, so what's going on? That's Eyelicious.
Well, we just recently purchased Spice World on digital.
And that was great because also, if you don't know, it's hard to find a physical copy or streaming. So we finally found a way to get a digital copy, and we've watched it like 5 times already.
Maybe even more than that. But yeah, it was very difficult to find. It's not streaming anywhere. It's not really on DVD. We used to have it on DVD as well as VHS, but we lost all of our things, so we don't have it anymore. But we found a way to get it through Vudu, which is now Fandango at home.
And also, speaking of Spice World, we also got Sugar and Spice, a movie. I don't know if a lot of people seen it, but it's great. It has James Marsden. But also, I guess as far as things that are Eyelicious, also Sugar and Spice, also Eyelicious.
I think Sugar and Spice is okay. It was good when it came out. It's a teen comedy about cheerleaders who rob a bank using their cheerleading skills. It's a cute film.
And then what else do you have that is Eyelicious?
We are starting our journey to drag.
And as far as that goes, we have been watching Drag Race, and Akira C. Davenport is also Eyelicious. I don't. Their outfits are just incredible.
I like Akira. She's pretty great. As far as drag queens that I really like their fashion sense, Jada Essence Hall dresses really well. I think that she's very pretty. I also, of course, love Miss Vanjie because she's so bangy.
So that's what's been brought to you by Eyelicious today. That's what's Eyelicious in our lives. And okay, now for the second installment of Drag Queen or Wrestler. I'm going to give some names. Chanel's going to give some names. You can play along at home. I can go first. Mayhem Miller.
Drag queen.
Yes, and for Mayhem Miller, they was on season 10, and the episode 3 where they wore the feathers, that was also Eyelicious. But I also have Deja Sky.
Drag queen.
Correct. And Cameron Michaels.
Drag queen.
Correct.
Okay, for me. Vero Small.
Drag Queen.
Wrestler.
I don't know that one. I'll have to look.
Gabby Tuft.
Wrestler.
Yes. Rainy Ram.
That's almost like the movie The Wrestler. A drag queen.
Correct. And that was another episode of Drag or Wrestler.
Because drag and wrestling, glitter and robes, this is the intersection.
And now the moment you've all been waiting for, glitter and robes. So what do you have new going on in glitter and robes today?
Well, this event called Wrestlemania happened recently. And in our lives, we recently watched it after it happened. I avoided it being on the internet, so it was all new to me. But like the greatest moment ever, R-Truth and all his greatness, the Awesome Truth and their ladder tag match. R-Truth has now gotten a hot tag in the Royal Rumble and won in the ladder match. And not only that, him and Miz won. He overcame his fear of ladders, and R-Truth finally has a championship.
Yeah, I'm very happy for R-Truth. He's worked really hard for so many years. He's such a great wrestler. He's hilarious. He's
He
the total
was the best part
package.
of the match. He made
He
the whole match.
is always the best part of WWE every time they allow him to be out there. I wish they would allow him to be out there more. Um, yeah, like you said, he overcame his fear of ladders, his fear of heights. I think he's probably more afraid of ladders than heights. But, they succeeded and I was very excited. It was one of my favorite matches of the night.
There was what, 6 teams in that match? R-Truth, basically, I mean, I guess the New Day are over on their own, but R-Truth is responsible for getting all them other people over. DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso coming out as DX because R-Truth thinks they are DX. They are more over than they have ever been. And
Yeah, if you want to be popular, let R-Truth mess up your name and be confused about who you are because people are still talking about Tom and Nick without even talking about Dominic. So, R-Truth is a legend and every moment he has is legendary.
we can even only hope that he gets the feud with Damian Priest for the world title. He got Damian Priest over enough to where the Money in the Bank that he had, the briefcase, made sense when he cashed it in because he's now over thanks to R-Truth.
And I do want to say that Seth's outfit for that match was pretty phenomenal.
What'd you call it? Wrestlemania Extravaganza?
Eleganza, yes.
Yeah, Eleganza.
It was great. It was giving me Versailles. It was giving me life. The train was so long. I just loved it. It was one of the greatest outfits on WrestleMania night 1. Also night 2, actually, for that matter. Because he didn't even outdo himself for night 2. I felt like his outfit for night 1 was the pinnacle of, and he always shows up in an outfit. I'm always gonna watch to see what Seth is wearing. I'm not a huge Seth fan as far as his wrestling's concerned, but the boy can dress.
I don't know if it counts as a wig reveal, but on night 2 he did come out with the white hair.
He did. He did do a wig reveal on night 2.
And then of course Rock and Roman beat Cody and Seth to make it Bloodline rules for night 2. And I will still stand by, if Dustin Rhodes was in WWE, it should have been him instead of Seth. We could have had Go Dust with Cody.
I really enjoyed The Rock's entrance when they had the bull shape out of fire and he was standing in the middle. I really like the gimmick of him being the final boss. I thought that was really well done. I liked that they basically had a street brawl out into the stands and into the fans, and I really felt like they did a good job of incorporating everybody, and it was a really good match.
What we've come to notice, because since we are not there for them all the time, since Sasha and Naomi left, and there's not enough women's titles or women's wrestlers, what WWE does is sports entertainment. It's not wrestling. And The Rock coming out as the final boss makes sense because who's the biggest, baddest guy there is?
And who's the most famous wrestler? He's the most famous wrestler in the world. Our 4-year-old knows who The Rock is. Our grandparents know who The Rock is. Everybody knows who The Rock is.
He is the action star that no other wrestler could become. They've tried. I mean, John Cena and Batista do great, but I don't know if everybody's granny knows who John Cena and Batista are.
My granny don't. My favorite match and my personal headlining match, it was, to me, the biggest match of the night. It was the match I was most wanting to see, and that was Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi.
Yeah, that was the main event. Of course, Naomi and Bianca were neither in the match that they should have been in. But we got them all three together. They all looked great, and let's say Asuka and Kyrie and Dakota. They looked like a team, but they are not Jade, Bianca, and Naomi.
The coordinating outfits, the entrance, the spectacle and glamour of it all was everything for me. I absolutely loved it. I loved all of the pre show promo pictures of them. I loved the video of them talking to Coco Jones. Everything that Bianca, Jade, and Naomi did for WrestleMania was epic, and it was everything for me.
That's why we say Naomi, Bianca are goats, greatest of all time. There's always someone dressed as Randy Savage in the crowd, and not excuse me, not that all of their outfits aren't great because every time they are better than the last time. One day there should be Naomi, Bianca, and possibly Jade, people wearing their costumes, because this is Randy Savage beyond what Randy, as great as Randy Savage was, he it's not Naomi and Bianca.
Yeah, I do know that little girls do dress up as Bianca and come to the show. I don't know that they give them screen time because they don't always sit down in the first two rows. So, we don't get to see the fans. But, they really do a good job of posting the fans or reposting the fans whenever they're tagged in a costume that a kid's worn to WrestleMania or to any of their premium live events.
And they could have shortened other matches. They put 6 women in one match. There was only 3 women's matches in 2 nights. And being that Asuka and Kyrie are the tag champions, any two of Naomi, Bianca, Jade could have been wrestling for those titles, but Naomi and Bianca should be world champions. But with there only being 3 matches, that means Kaden Carter and Katana Chance weren't on the card, and they could have great matches all the time with Asuka and Kyrie.
Yeah, I agree. There needs to be more women's titles because Naomi should have a title, Bianca should have a title, Jade should be working towards having a title. There should be space and opportunities for all of these women who are insanely talented, especially Naomi, especially Bianca, who have been there in the trenches with WWE for a very long time. They're headliners.
Naomi is what brings us there. We left, we come back, we go where she goes.
Yeah, it's a love hate relationship with WWE because we love their talent, but when their talent leaves, we love their talent. So we love the talent. So we go where the talent goes. We go where the people that we show up every week to see are.
And before we move on to night 2, there was Rey Mysterio and Charlotte Flair's husband Andrade against Dominic, which once again R-Truth has gotten over with Santos. And Santos, of course, is great. And
He
I just
runs the
wanted
bingo.
he does run the bingo. He runs the bingo. And I just wanted to mention that slingshot type move that they did with Joaquin Wild. He flew forever. And they all came dressed, and Ray did a mask reveal.
Yeah, I'm here for any entrance that gives me that wow factor that makes me say, that was awesome. And I feel like Ray, that's what I call him, Ray. I feel like Rey Mysterio gives that to us every single time. He always comes ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And he stays ready.
And to connect him to the final boss, when you speak to younger people, they love Rey Mysterio. He's the greatest of all time to them. He was the character in the video game who does all the cool moves. So you, in a video game, would need Rey Mysterio to go against the final boss.
Night 2 was, to me, less exciting than night 1. Probably because the 3 reasons that I watch WWE right now were on night 1 and they were not at all wrestling for night 2. So night 2 was a lot less exciting for me. Um, but I did enjoy Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits and B-Fab because I feel like Bobby should have a title always. He's great. I enjoy the Street Profits. Montez be flying through the air. He does something crazy every time they allow him into the squared circle. And that's what I'm here for.
He was going into the crowd, and he seems to be great from when we watched him and Bianca on their show on Hulu. And yeah, Bobby, I still argue that he never lost the belt. He should have one. And Karrion Kross was there, and we love Killer, we love Scarlett, but they've done something to them that doesn't work.
I want Scarlett's blonde hair back. It's not, the dark hair is not working for me. She was still a gothic queen with blonde hair. I don't know why WWE has tried to make her into Wednesday Addams. She's not Wednesday Addams. She's Wednesday Addams' roommate, but with a dark side.
Yeah, she was a witch of some sort. I don't know what this gimmick is because Killer is the people's executioner, but that was, and also for me, night 1 was more so the biggest night than night 2.
Yeah, I agree. It really was. I can't not mention Snoop on commentary for the Bobby Street Profits B-Fab match. I'm always rooting for everybody black. He was there rooting for everybody black. He was hilarious. I really enjoy Snoop in all of his capacities. I have been wanting to try his cereal. Our 4-year-old watches his kids show. I love Snoop. So he was a highlight for night 2 for me for sure.
And Bobby and those guys, I'm glad they're on the card because, and they were put in a tough spot, but Snoop Dogg made the match work. His commentary, you forgot Pat McAfee was there because people not on the card was Shinsuke. They did nothing to hype Pat, but Snoop he was like just sitting there listening to someone watching wrestling. It's like watching wrestling with your granny. Beat him up, Bobby. Beat him up.
Yeah, Snoop was hilarious. I loved it. I loved all of it. He really turned up the match a notch for me. But that was actually for me the main event of night 2. Because I really wanted Roman to retain the title, but also I don't have a need for Cody Rhodes to win his shot at WrestleMania. I don't buy that he super deserves it. I get that they gave him the title so that he could fulfill the destiny because WWE refused to give everybody else in his family the title, and they deserved the title. And so he got grandfathered into the title at Wrestlemania XL, and that's cute, but that wasn't for me.
He's fine. He's the one we got. I still prefer Dustin, and I don't know if Cody's even deserving. He left when the Stardust character wasn't working for him, and then he goes and helps part of starting the AEW, and that's where Dustin is now. And then he comes back and is a bigger star than he ever was, which I couldn't understand. I am fine with Cody winning, happy for him and Brandy, but with Roman having leukemia or That is what he has, right?
That's what he's had.
Whichever. And him being so close to passing Hulk Hogan, I was for Roman keeping the belt at this point after so long. Because I don't know how many times you get the chance to hold it for 4, 5, 10 years.
Well, I don't want anybody to hold it for 10 years because I don't have that kind of patience. But I would have liked for him to keep it a little bit longer. I am also a bit of a size queen when it comes to wrestling. And when people are very unevenly matched in height and weight, my logical brain says, obviously, the big guy's going to win. And there are times when people like Ray Ray, who does all this flippy stuff and is hard to keep your eye on, you know, of course he can beat anybody any size because you can't see him, you can't catch him, you can't, you're getting kicked in the face before you know you've been kicked in the face, and then he's doing like a back handspring off of your shoulders and kicking you in the knees. So of course you might lose to him even though he's small. But Cody just seemed outmatched by Roman to me. And so logically for me, it does not make sense for Cody to win, no matter how much the Rhodes family deserves a title.
Size doesn't matter to me. I had to eventually accept that Ray Ray can beat the Giants because it's sports entertainment. I've been told that Cody is now presented as an underdog, which is fine if he's that new character, but the problem is he's the size of everyone else. He's not smaller than people like Ray Ray. And once again, if it was Dustin is a big old dude and does everything that Cody does and more and better. So I don't understand, but Bobby and Killer were the main event because once again, like on night one, they took 6 people who all deserve different matches and put them in the one.
Agreed, because I feel like the Street Profits should have titles.
Why wasn't they in the title match?
Yes.
Austin Theory and Grayson Waller was there, and I love Austin Theory. Grayson Waller I feel the same way about him as everyone else. He's trash. But they didn't even have to be there.
They didn't.
Street Profits could have been a ladder match. Montez in a ladder match.
Yes, like Montez flying off of a ladder, that would have been amazing. But alas, they don't hear us. So we got what we got. And again, more titles, more ethnic winners, please. More people of color winners, please. That's all I'm asking.
They have said Jacob Fatu has showed up, so I'd love to see him beat Cody for the title.
Oh, that's exciting. We love Jacob. He's amazing. We followed his career from MLW, so it'll be exciting for him to join the new bloodline.
Yeah, Booker T's been pushing for it, and Booker T to me is second to R-Truth as far as that goes. He's great. Speaking of things that's Eyelicious, I don't know if it's Eyelicious. We watched Blank Check. Booker T's been doing Tone Loc this whole time and no one got it.
I didn't know where he was going with it. Tone Loc is Eyelicious and Booker T is Eyelicious, so I'll allow it.
That's so yay for Cody and Brandy.
We've also been watching and rewatching Drag Race, starting with season 1 and going in chronological order, including the All-Stars. Unfortunately, with the way our streaming services are set up, we are unable to watch UK or Thailand or any of the other offshoot seasons, but we are watching main Drag Race, and we started with season 1. We just started season 12, so we've watched 11 seasons and
3 All-Stars.
3 All-Stars.
And for me, where our life is now, as I've said before, this is the best life I've been living, as sad as that is. These are first watches for me because of where my life was then was even worse. But we are through season 11.
Actually, it's All Stars 4.
And
We watched All Stars 4 as well because the queens were white, 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 black as far as
yes.
winners went. That's
Yes,
how
I've
I
I've
keep.
had some issues with I believe it's the last three. Yes, it is the last seasons 9, 10, 11 winners. I mean, they was yeah. I mean, 11 was Evie Oddly. I don't know how you can argue against Evie Oddly. Uh, and I did come in at season 13, but with my illness, I don't. We will be watching that again. But
I'm looking forward to getting to all winners, all stars because it was so epic. And every episode, you knew that everybody brought everything, and it was just so professional and so wonderfully done. And everybody just was fighting for that crown. It was the best season to me of all of Drag Race. So I'm super excited that we're getting closer to rewatching that because I can't wait.
and once again, I was there, but I wasn't there because of illness. I am aware of what's going on starting at season 14.
My favorite season is season 8, of course, because my favorite queen, Bob the Drag Queen, was the winner of that season. Um, it also featured Chi Chi, which I've talked about before on this show, and how much I absolutely love Chi Chi and am just inspired by her. I feel like I am a drag queen like Chi Chi, as in I work a lot and I'm real poor. And I'm doing the best I can to be the best drag queen I can with no money and shopping on Temu.
I don't know how to follow that up because Chi is and there was Monique Hart.
Oh, yes, Monique
Monique,
Hart
you know, when you see
came
them in their
to
season and then you
play.
see All Stars, you see what it goes from being broke to somebody did something for me.
Yeah, I think, well, and
And there's
really,
been a lot of people who could just use that, I think.
yeah, I feel like it's really wonderful that Rue gives people a chance to bring drag to the world, but also, even if you don't have any money, if you have the charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, she sees that in you. As soon as you're on the first episode, you are known by so many people, and that really helps you be in a better place. I always call it Disney money.
Disney, yes. And some of that I feel is my whole house mother thing is sometimes she brings you there because you need help. I've been told that they really enjoyed doing Drag U and they do that with drag races as well, I feel. And favorite seasons, from what I can tell, it could just be the one that's most recent in my mind. But because of Asia O'Hara, season 10 seems to be my favorite season.
I enjoyed Asia. I felt really bad about the butterflies at the finale. They just would not flutter for her. But the way that Asia turned to look every episode, and, I know that she was super busy as a fashion designer before she came on Drag Race, and I can only imagine how much busier she is now. But I would love to wear an Asia O'Hara original.
I would as well. Just, I don't know if there was an outfit I didn't like that Asia did. There was a time where they decided to be the house mother and made an outfit for everyone and about got themselves sent home. And so then they had to change their attitude. But then their looks just kept on getting better and better. And Asia's also a part of that. My disappointment in the winners from seasons 9, 10, 11, though I can't argue Evie Oddly.
Yeah, Evie Oddly was the top person, especially out of the top four, as far as the way she showed up to the finale. I feel like there were times when it felt like a Kyria was going to win because she can dress, she can act, she can dance, she's gorgeous.
I was in love with Akira. I kept on asking, "Are you sure it's not Asia's daughter?" Just because the styles are on, and she's just so gorgeous. But when Rue brings on Elvira to say, "You need to meet Evie Oddly," it was over.
Yeah, Evie definitely, whether people understood her style or not, she stayed true to herself, but she also incorporated every comment, every critique that she got from the judges, and it really showed her growth throughout the season because she did that. And as Rue has said in the past, how many of you have sat at home screaming at your TV for these girls to fix their mistakes? And yet, people come on season after season and they don't do that. But Evie did that. And so it was very easy for her to just snatch that crown.
And as I said, these are first runs for me, so much like WrestleMania, I haven't checked the internet. I don't know who wins. I am surprised every time. Well, I shouldn't say surprised. I don't know the outcomes of these. And however, season 11 is kind of like WrestleMania 8. WrestleMania 8, we didn't get Hogan Flair. We got Savage beating Flair for the title, which was better. But we never got Evie versus Silky in a lip sync. We got Evie against Akira, which is better, but we never got the big money.
Yeah, because their personalities clash quite often through the season. But also, just those big personalities going up against each other would have been great to see. Speaking of looks, I forgot to mention, back to wrestling, Bailey and Io, and their entrance looks, because I really enjoyed Bailey's look, but I was very confused by the Egyptian theme
I didn't
and
understand.
her being carried in. That was very confusing
But
for
who
me.
doesn't want to be carried
I mean, yeah, carry
by
me.
by those men with all them abs?
Carry
So.
me. I don't even need to pretend to be Egyptian or Grecian or any other people who have been carried as royalty. Just carry me always and everywhere.
And Io lost the belt,
Io did lose the belt.
which we
But
Bailey.
she looked crazy and she looked sexy and she looked cool.
Yeah,
She's the TLC.
she's what we had
WWE.
since we didn't have Bianca or Naomi.
She is, and I'm always here for a women's match. So I didn't want to not talk about them at WrestleMania Night 2.
There was Becky and Rhea. We didn't mention them either. Which, by the way, Rhea vacated the title, and so if Bianca and Jade are going to be partners, then Naomi, I don't know why they just don't hand Naomi the belt. I mean, she probably wants to win it fairly, but just give her the belt.
Probably do some sort of tournament or 6-woman wrestle thing and make them fight over it. They always do things like that.
Or they could just have Bianca wrestle Naomi and the winner gets the belt.
Yeah, and Jade can tag team partner with whoever loses.
Yeah, but if there was more than 3 titles to go around.
I agree.
There's all them titles for the men. But back to the drag race.
Yes, back to Drag Race.
Season 9, Shea Coulee,
Shay's amazing.
I had thought was going to win the whole time, and I was disappointed once again. I don't even know what to say about Shea not winning.
I enjoy Shay. I feel like the first season, everybody talks about the filter. The second season, people tend to forget a little bit. I mean, because it was kind of a re-premiere because they changed the look of things and everything, but we don't talk about Tyra. And then season 3, it really started to pick up. Um, Season 5 is one of those seasons that people talk about, maybe not for always the best reasons. Season 7,
I mean,
feel
season 5 has Jinx in Alaska.
it did. I feel like
And looking once again at notes, season 2 seems to have struggled. They talk about season 7. Season 2 seems to have struggled.
that's why it was a reboot or a rehash because the format changed. They were working with a network. They got better lighting, so then they didn't have to use the Vaseline filter, but it really hadn't grown the legs that it needed.
But like
it
you
got
said,
that.
season 3 with Raja, because Shangela came to season 2 and then
Went home
back
the
for
first
season
episode,
3.
yes.
And Pork Chop went home first ever.
Yes, Pork Chop, the first person to go home on the first Drag Race ever, is a legend and did enough in that first episode to be relevant today. Like, that's all Pork Chop's ever had to do. And she's legendary. Season 7 was, for me, the most boring season. And, I mean, I've talked about why I don't like season 7 before, so I'm not going to go into that again, but
There are some positives to season 7. And season 7 would probably go with 9, 10, 11 as Kennedy Davenport, but they wasn't even in the finals.
yeah, Kennedy Davenport.
Katya, I was convinced, was Russian.
Yeah,
Their
Katya.
gimmick, their character, they had sold me they could still be Russian.
Well, yeah, season 7 definitely gave us some really great queens. I just don't feel like it popped the way the other seasons popped.
When you find out Katya's not Russian, it's like when you find out Nikita Koloff, the Russian Nightmare. You know, Cody's daddy's tag team partner. Ivan Koloff, Canadian. Nikita was from Minnesota, not Russian. That was Katya. They had convinced me they were Russian.
Some people are great actresses and actors. I feel like
And Kasha Davis was in season 7.
Yeah, there were some really great.
Ginger Minge
gave us lots of great queens. I love the Minge.
The outcome was wrong. The final was wrong. The reboot got us to season 8 with Bob the Drag Queen.
Yes, but because season 7 struggled so hard, we got a shortened season with less queens. And as I said before, we could always use more Bob, the drag queen, always and forever.
And so we got less Chi Chi and less Bob because of season 7.
And then season 9 was
Shea Coulee.
Yes, Shea Coulee.
Valentina.
The Can I Leave It On for Valentina.
Nina Benina Brown. There is a costume I'm going to discuss on another episode that is Eyelicious. It's a whole Eyelicious subject on its own. And Shea Coulee was a house mother for them.
Yeah, Shea is amazing. I enjoy Shea.
Peppermint. Should have possibly won. If not Shea. Peppermint, I don't know why Peppermint didn't win.
I don't either. Season 10, which we...
Monet Exchange. Season 10 was, I think it's the greatest so far, the best. I mean, there's several. There's more to go over. Season 6, Bianca and Bendela Cream.
Yeah, season 6 is why so many celebrities were on season 7. And then season 7 dropped the ball, and we got this ridiculously short season 8. And season 8 blew everybody's minds, and now we're back to celebrities on every episode, and the big names want to work with all the queens, and everything became bigger and more grandiose because of season 8. And season 9, carried on the ball. Season 10
It seems like Rue even struggled with her wardrobe
Season
for
10.
a while, and then season 11 there was just a sudden change of the one orange stripe dress.
Yeah, that dress was gorgeous. I feel
It
like,
may have gone back to the dress that she'd worn for the wrestling episode back in season 4, the last time she'd had anything that great for me.
well, I'm here for anything that's pink. So every time she wears something pink, I think there may have been one pink dress that I didn't care for, but I can't even recall it right now. It probably had other colors in it, but if it's pink, I'm going to love it.
And not that her stuff was bad, because it's all good. There's just always something that was just a little off.
Yes, I agree. Um, and we can look into it further to see like who did her costuming for each season, and I'm sure that will be very telling on why season 10 felt so off. Season 11, which we are fresh off of watching, I knew who was going to win because I had seen almost every season of RuPaul's Drag Race before this, so I remembered who won. I also remembered season 7 who won, but because of who it was that won, I didn't bother being like, oh, I do know who wins this season because I was disappointed in the outcome. So, but season 11, I knew that Evie was going to win, or season 11, I knew that Evie was going to win. I did not recall her finale look for her final lip sync, but that was everything.
And yeah, during her finale, I don't know if it's what they got the inspiration from. It reminded me of when Bray Wyatt would come out of the corner in that pose. I don't know how you stand that way. I don't even know what you call that position. It's yoga.
Yeah, I'm flexible, but I'm not that flexible.
But if you've seen Bray Wyatt and then seen Evie with Evie's hair and Bray Wyatt's hair, it is the same kind of creepiness of you're about to lose.
Her headpiece for what was their last song? They did, there was Bootylicious and SOS. Those were the first two songs that they did. And then
Well, I don't know. I didn't put it in my notes. That's an honest
I
answer.
can't remember either. It's
Sorry,
fine.
sometimes when you're high, you don't remember everything
Or anything.
or anything.
That's fine. But she came ready, and as I've said before, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I will contribute that quote to Chi Chi.
And this is my fault because I have said that sometimes when people arrive, you know who has won. Bianca and the like. Evie, I should have known was one that was going to win, but Akarius Davenport is so eyelicious. Just, I was.
You were blinded by her beauty.
I'm telling you, they are so pretty. Akaria is so pretty. I I don't know if they're as pretty as they are when they are Akaria, but Akaria is pretty and eyelicious.
Oh, we forgot to mention the iconic Miss Vanjie. Miss
Vanjie.
Vanjie. Who came back for season 11 after going home first on season 10.
They were
Sorry.
on 2 great seasons.
Yeah, so I talked about Vanjie before and how she just had the most epic first episode of season 10 and how it's very memorable. And because she is so memorable, she comes up from time to time. Like I've said before, they still quote Miss Vanjie, and So they brought her back for season
Vanjie's
11.
another one of those. They are born to be a drag queen. They do what they do. They do Vanjie. They
Very
are
well.
great at being Vanjie.
Yes.
Vanjie is great. Put them in that movie, that green movie. What was that green movie?
What green movie?
The one with the guy who plays Wednesday Addams' dad in the movie. I done forgot his name now.
Luis Guzman?
Yeah, you know that green movie we watched.
Oh, Puerto Ricans in Paris.
Yeah, Puerto Ricans in Paris. Put Vanjie with those guys.
The green movie. He means the movie has a greenish tint the whole time. I was like, what green movie? The Wizard of Oz?
I don't know how I forgot Luis Guzman, but...
Like, they went to Emerald City. The Green Mile, that's a movie with green in it. The Big Green, that's a green movie.
We've also watched Medea Goes to Jail. Put Vanjie in Sofia Vergara's place. They don't have to do Sofia Vergara, they can do Vanjie. It's the same kind of funny.
It is.
If you can do you, you can do you. No one does Sofia Vergara. No one should do Vanjie. Vanjie can do Vanjie.
People have tried to do Sofia Vergara on Drag Race, and it has failed.
I think they tried to do Vanjie, haven't they? Maybe in season 13, if we get there, that I know there was a bad Snatch Game. Or maybe an All-Stars.
I cannot remember which Snatch Game was so terrible that I feel like RuPaul was like, never mind. But it could be the Mandela effect. But I'm pretty sure there is a season where the Snatch Game is just so atrocious that Ru is like, no thank you.
And Vanjie and Evie struggled at Snatch Game because they do themselves. They don't do their... I mean, some Bianca can do other people.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Judge Judy, but that's Bianca's style of being a drag queen.
Yeah, I feel like Judge Judy and Bianca have very similar sense of humors and tones, and they have these giant hearts, and you know that everything they say, no matter how mean it sounds, is coming from a genuine place. But they're also not going to suffer a fool. So, you know, as Judge Judy says, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. So, you know, they have these tough exteriors with these really soft cores. And I feel like that is really what helped us get into Bianca's version of Judge Judy.
Yeah, because Bianca, she worked with Rhoda, I think. She was 40 years older than she actually is. Bianca Del Rio is older than the person who is Bianca. At this point, they are Bianca. It's like Dwayne Johnson's The Rock.
Yeah, at some point, you just become Dwayne The Rock Johnson instead of The Rock or Dwayne Johnson.
So Bianca Del Rio is Bianca Del Rio as much as Judge Judy is Judge Judy.
You transcend your former self and just become your celebrity and your star and the person that you were meant and born to be.
But I think with Vanjie, they was wanting her to do something different with Snatch Game, but they already have their own character. They are their character.
Yes, I feel like...
I don't think you can come on Snatch Game and be Luis Guzman like Kennedy Davenport was Little Richard. It's not the same thing.
It's not. But yeah, Little Richard was an amazing Snatch Game as well. All right, well, that wraps up this episode of Glitter and Robes. I am Chanel.
And I am Roy.
We are at the intersection of drag and wrestling.